The area of interest for me is very much languages. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a French and Spanish teacher, but it's languages. It's what engages students with languages and helps them progress. And I want to look at why sometimes there are some groups of students who seem to attain higher results in public examinations than other groups, and how sometimes their entry into secondary school has affected that. That's one particular area. Another area in generally thinking about language is very much about students' perceptions of languages. Often when you talk to you have to talk to friends, family, colleagues who aren't involved in languages teaching, they talk about not being good at languages, or having a great languages teacher, or having a languages teacher who shouted quite a lot, using quite a lot of language. Everyone seems to have an opinion on it. And I think it's that opinion, trying to tap into that opinion and saying, has it changed in the past? Could it change in the future? Is modern technology enhancing the language experience? Is it just enhancing being in the classroom but not necessarily enhancing the experience? All of these details, I think, are there. I think they just need, for want of a better term, teasing out of individuals. And that, I'm going to say, would be students. So my interests are very much to see what students' perceptions are of studying languages right now, in terms of using ICT, the progress they make, where they might see languages going in the future as well. When I started learning languages in the 90s, it was very much for dictionary. In the late 90s, you just had the internet. Now you have Google Translate. That students' view is actually, there's a good linguist will be able to use all the information presented to the vocabulary and the grammar, and then be able to construct sentences straight away. A slightly weaker linguist might want to just simply type something into Google Translate and spell out their answer and present that as work. What I want to see is how students move themselves away from Google Translate and use exactly what you've given in the class, no matter how difficult it is, and use that, and how they are able to produce more accurate language in that way. And there's very specific reasons why I'm certainly on the course, for valid reasons, and why I'm enjoying what I'm doing so far. First of all, the training that I had for teaching has been very practical. So there is the PGC route and the sort of the graduate teacher route. I'm very pleased with the route that I pursued, and it certainly served myself and my students very well. But what I really wanted is to get that theoretical background, to actually look outside, not just what goes on in my classroom and with my schools and, shall we say, a local family of schools, but actually see what happens around the world. And I think the only way to do that is to do that in an academic way. I think it's important to have that practical discussion about sharing resources, where to find different resources. Let's just say, for example, on the Times Educational Supplement, sort of on the Dropbox, in local forums, etc. But actually, looking certainly from my study of the MA, realised that I've read literature that said, for example, teachers go on training courses to develop their practice. But actually, if you don't almost inherently believe that's going to change your practice, it won't have any effect. If you don't take the material and start using it straight away and actually believe in what you're going to do, which again, inherently believe in what you're doing is actually going to change students for the better, then it won't have the desired effect. And actually, I only got that really from actually the study that I've been doing during the course of the MA. And I also think the MA in education gives you the opportunity to explore the areas of interest to you. So I'm very much interested in languages. I'm very much interested in assessment, and also looking at the curriculum. I'm not afraid to say that whilst maybe the language will be very similar, the curriculum is constantly changing. I've taught for 11 years and I've seen 3 changes in the type of A-level that I teach. So I'm not so I really think the next A-level is going to change in a year's time for languages. It will change again in another 5 years and another 5 years. So that way we actually need to you need to be able to have that ability to look at the research that's happened in the past, and what different academics are saying about teaching, pedagogy, talking about ways in which you can enrich your teaching, ways that actually we think we're enriching our teaching on the superficial level, but we're not really doing much. Teachers are educators, but they're also academics, and they have the potential to be academics as well, they have to be able to have the discipline as well to sit down and be able to appreciate different points of view. I think what the literature gives you, the research shows you, is that the more you can read, is the more you can critique your own practice and make learn a better experience for the students, and also communicate that to other members of staff that you teach as well. So I think certainly being a teacher and being a student as well has certainly been a benefit to me this year.